I remembered what I was trying to remember before about in court. When that foreign asshole sitting there hitting on me. We're supposed to be quiet. We're supposed to be quiet in the courtroom. You know, they tell you, you're supposed to be quiet. You are supposed to be quiet while each person goes up there and says their case and whatnot. And I remember what it was. When I got caught drinking the Steel Reserve beer behind Rite Aid, there was no question of my guilt, okay? So I didn't fight the ticket. But later on I heard that no matter what, you should fight your ticket. But I didn't want to fight it because if you fight it and you lose, you can't ask for community service. So I went and got my sentencing for that, and I asked for community service. The second time, I was so adamant that I wanted to be able to, even though I knew I would lose, I wanted to be able to talk. I wanted to be able to tell my side of things, that it's absolutely ridiculous, and I had been talking to people. I had been talking to people about how you press the button. See, I'm pretty sure I did press that button and it didn't change, okay? But you press these streetlight buttons and it doesn't change to walk. It's broken, okay? So these Culver City assholes have nothing better to do. This was across from the 99-cent store, you have to understand. So it was at night. All I was doing was crossing the street, and that is why I wanted to have my say, and I decided to go and fight it. And as it turned out, the cop didn't show up, and I didn't have to pay. And I didn't get to tell my story either, but so what? I didn't have to pay money, which would have been like $200 that I didn't have. I would have had to scrape it up somehow. That's what I was trying to remember. But the reason the first one, yeah, I was caught drinking Steel Reserve beer, and I accepted it, and that I had broken the law, and just a minor law, but the second time, no. And then after that happened to me, I even went and talked to all kinds of people. I was livid. I went and talked to all kinds of people and found out all kinds of things, like those goddamn streetlights are broken and they don't fix them and they don't change. So what happens is, since the Culver City assholes had not actually seen what happened, they got the tail end of it. It looks the same. If you press that button, if it doesn't change to walk, right? Now remember, it's just one street, okay? No, of course it's a street going. I'm trying to remember here. To cross, yeah, it had to be a street light. Okay, so but regardless, it's not a main road. It's like it doesn't matter. What matters is that I pressed that button and it did not change to walk like it should have, but the light turned green. Okay, so what happens is the light stays green, but that orange man stays up there because it didn't change to walk. So it looks the same as somebody who is running across the street at the last minute when you shouldn't walk because your walk signal has turned off and it's on orange. See, Culver City assholes didn't care. They're like, you put yourself in danger. You didn't even see me. You have nothing better to do. You should go after real criminals. So that was what it was. I know what had happened. Okay. And then I talked to all kinds of people and found out about that. How ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Ridiculous that I got a ticket for that. So I decided to fight it. I didn't want to do the community service again, and I just decided, fuck it, I'll fight it. And I got lucky. And I also heard, I talked to a lot of times the cops, if they don't show up that day for the ticket for whatever reason, then it's dropped. The case is dropped. It was wonderful. The case is dropped. Oh, good. I remembered that. I just thought that was ridiculous. Now, granted, on that night, I'm pretty positive I pressed that button, okay? I wasn't shit-faced. But I'm pretty proud that I pressed the button. It didn't change, okay? But even if I didn't press the button, I wasn't putting my life in danger. The goddamn light had turned to green. The orange stayed up, but I had plenty of time to get across the street. The light had turned to green, you know. Oh, that's why I fought it, and I got lucky. And I deserved to get lucky because I had, you know, they're just jerks. They should go after someone else, and, you know, they didn't see the whole thing. They caught the tail end of it. And they're sitting there scolding me and whatnot. And I'm like, whatever. So that was what happened. That's why I was like, why did the first time? No, you have to choose. You have to decide whether it's a different court, different whatever, whether you're going to fight it or whether you're just going to go for sentencing. So the first time when I got drinking the State Reserve beer, I went for sentencing and I asked for community service and then the next time I decided I was going to fight it on principle. So I did. But yeah, no, you don't start. I don't care. You don't hit on me in the middle of a courtroom when we're supposed to be quiet. You know, leave me the fuck alone. I can't believe it. This guy's hitting on me. We're supposed to be quiet. I was lucky they even let me in. I was late. But they let me in any case. And then this guy starts hitting on me, who I sat next to. I'm like, leave me alone. I told him at one point, I'm like, we're supposed to be quiet. You know, shut up. I remembered that, so I figured I'd explain myself of what I had said before. Last summer, you know, I wake up thinking about certain things, probably because of dreams I've had that I don't recall. Or who knows, it's all in my head, it's all in my mind. But last summer, I hate Marion. She negates. How dare you, Marion? How dare you negate my mother's feelings? I'm sitting there telling Marion my mom's upset about Amanda, who's dying. Marion looks right at me. I said, that's when, oh, your mother's not upset about Amanda dying. Your mother just stopped taking your medication. Fuck her medication. Fuck you fucking cunt. I'm so sick of you negating me, negating my mother. Don't you sit there and tell me my mother worshipped the ground my aunt walked on. She now wishes that you had died instead of the one who did die. Okay? Don't you sit there and say that to me. And the sad thing is, Marion believes her own shit. She just negates the mentally ill, and it just makes me sick. Even she negates the mentally ill, even when it's her own fucking sister, my mother. My mother loved her sister, and I was living with my mom, and I 100% believe, based on what my mom said and my mom's fears of not when I'm back in the mental hospital, my mom was taking her medication. You know. I wanted to see that Netflix movie I read about. All these people who negate, just 100% negate the mentally ill, like they can't possibly be anything or contribute anything, or, you know. Meanwhile, there are a lot of people on this planet who believe mental illness is a fallacy, okay? But regardless, I'm not going to even get into that, but anyway, there was this woman, and I don't know when it was. Maybe it had to be when this was legal, because I think it's not legal anymore, although in my opinion and the opinions of others who are sarcastic and facetious, it's still allowed in a chemical form, okay? I don't think they do lobotomies anymore, do they? Are they illegal? As far as I'm concerned, they still do chemical lobotomies, but they don't do actual lobotomies. This woman, they were going to give her a lobotomy. She was in a mental hospital, whatever. It's on a Netflix DVD. I was going to, I would have rented eventually, but you saw what happened with my life, but they were going to give her a lobotomy. I think it's in Australia, but shortly before she was scheduled for a lobotomy, I don't know the situation because I didn't watch the DVD, but to make a long story short, she wound up winning the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, okay? The Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. So needless to say, I guess she got out and she didn't get a lobotomy, and I would love to see that. But that would take in a Netflix subscription, and I'm not in the mood to get a Netflix subscription because I pretty much would have, I can't watch things really at night. Or I can if I watch him after he goes to bed. I have better things, I have other things to do, but yeah. She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. So many people on this planet want to negate the mentally ill. She was deemed crazy, okay? But regardless of whether she was crazy or not, she was brilliant. She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. And I would love to know how that happened, who discovered it or how it happened. Because this wasn't somebody, obviously she was fucking, to win the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, I mean, she had to be fucking incredible poet, I mean, there are people who write poetry like I do, but then there are people who just write blow you away type of poetry, which I definitely don't, Like I said, I have all these little things, these little talents, these little whatever, and they all add up to the whole package, but none in and of themselves were enough to get me the fame or the success or whatever that I wanted, But in any case, the woman won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, and she was, shortly before, like a week before, so I don't know, before she was scheduled to get a fucking lobotomy, okay? Now, everyone on this planet should be able to have that sink into their nice little, pretty or not, little heads, She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. She was about to get a lobotomy. They were about to destroy her mind that was so brilliant it was able to create poetry that won the Pulitzer Prize. My mother loved her sister. My mother wouldn't even allow me to say any wrong about her sister. My mother worshipped the sister, the ground her sister walked on, okay? Don't you sit there and tell me when I'm telling you, my mom got sick again, she's under a lot of stress, she's upset about Amanda dying. Oh, she's not. Your mother's not. This Marion looks right at me, and you wonder why I didn't want to deal with her this time. You wonder why, if she had gone to my face, I might have wound up in jail. After the 8 days of hell I've been through with my mom, I was not going to deal with Marion shit again. I'd already dealt with it in the summertime. In the summertime, just because I moved in with my mom, because Marion deigned to allow me to move in with my own mother, didn't mean I wanted to have anything to do with Marion, okay? I had to deal with her fucking shit and her fucking hugs and her fucking, oh, your mother's not upset about Amanda dying. Your mom just stopped taking her medication. No, she didn't, you fucking cunt. You fucking ignorant, arrogant cunt. My mother did not stop taking her medication. I don't know what the deal was. My mother was under obscene amount of stress, and I believe my mother was taking her medication, and my mother was terrified of winding up back in the hospital again. I believe my mother was taking her medication. And of course, when I say that to Marion, what do you think Marion does? She negates me, because that's what Marion does. Marion's a queen of negating everybody, I'm sorry, not everybody. Just the mentally ill.